Good afternoon, student. Today, in our civics portion, we started a new chapter, that is chapter number 4 of NCERT book, that is gender, religion, caste. This chapter divided into some part. So, in this module, we have to talk about the first part, that is the gender one. So, before we go through with this topic, let's first start with to know about or to analyze that what are we have to know in this chapter, what are the content of the chapter. So, let's start with our session. First we have to know the content, then we have to know the first part, that is the gender. Now we have to know that this chapter, gender, caste and religion, that is divided into three main parts. In this chapter you have to know about the three main parts. The first one is that gender and politics, which in this module we have to know. Under the gender and politics, what we have to know, that is the division of power, ways of women discriminations and women political representation. So these are the areas, these three parts are there which we have to know in the gender. Next, what we have to know, then we have to know about the religion and the caste and politics. So what we have to know in the religion you have to know about the regarding the religious difference in politics. Then we have to means the views what some others given upon the religious, means they express their views in the religion. Then we have to know the forms of communalism. The word communalism is very much is with you. You heard this word, but here you have to know that what are the different types or what are the different forms of the communalism. And another thing is, India is a secular state. So you all know that we as a India is known as a secular republic state. So here we have to know that what are the conditions, what are the things on which we say that the India is a secular state. So in this topic we have to know about the religion and communalism and politics. And the next one is that the caste and the politics. Here you have to know the forms of the caste, the focus of the caste in politics, means in politics what the caste do, and the political effect over the caste system. So these things you have to know here. So in this model we have to know about the gender and the politics. So we start with our first part in this module. What we have to discuss and we have to analyze that what are the different gender issues or what were the divisions of the labor. Then we have to discuss about the women's representations and the ways on which we can say that still the women are behind the men. So these are the topics which we have to know over here. With some graphs and some pictures we have to understood about the scenario of our country, or you can say in today's world. So let's start with about the gender division. Now there's a one word, gender division. If you divided these two words, you will know that gender means the male and female, the differences, and divisions, you all know that divisions. Now what is gender divisions? So gender division is a form of hierarchical social division which is based on the social expectation and stereotypes. I think if you remember in class 6 you have a topic, the stereotypes and prejudice. So here it is said that in previously in society, the one thing which is happen in one particular group, and that will be by with that things everyone is. So basically the social division is based on the social expectation, means in many places you all know that it is a wrong conception given in the society that the women are not able to play cricket, the women are only made for the household work, the boys don't cry, the boys are made for doing the outside work. So these are the myths which we have to, or stereotypes, things which we have to seen in the society. So in class 6 you already know about the terms stereotypes, where it means if you are judging one particular people and with that particular people characteristics, if you judge a whole group of that people, that means the stereotype. If I am giving you example, suppose if I as a girl, I don't like to play cricket, so we cannot say that by seeing my hobbies or likes, we cannot say that all the communities girls, all the girls in the community, they also don't like a cricket, but some girls are very well in the cricket and the sports. That's why we are getting the team of the Indian cricket team, or women's cricket team. So for that reason, it is called stereotype. So gender division means when in the society they are expected, they are believe in some kind of might, and on that basis they are divided the people into that. Means in the society it is a very myth that the women are born for doing the household work and the men are born with for doing the outside work, like earning the money for the families, and the women are in the home for nourishing their children, for doing the household work, for maintaining their families. These are things. So on this basis, the thing is that the female, they are divided for the household work, and the male, they are divided for the outside work. So these are kind of general division which is done on the basis of the social expectations. It is not a biological one, but it is a social one. Next, what is that thing? In most of the families, boys and girls are brought up with the concept of sexual divisions of labor. Now, what is sexual divisions of labor? See, in many of the society, maybe in the surrounding of your families or in your home, maybe in some of your homes or anywhere, there you can see that there is some differences given with boys and girls. From the childhood, we somehow are brought up in the society. The girls and the boys are brought up to hear it that the boys are have to take the responsibility of their parents, and the girls have to go to get married to and have to take the responsibility of others family, that is their in-laws family. It is also believed in the society, and the boys and girls are believing in the concept that the girls have to be in a home and the boys have to do the outside work. So this kind of brought up, this kind of belief we get in some of the families in our society, and that is created the concept of sexual division of labor. Now maybe it is come in your mind that what is sexual division of labor. So sexual division of labor means it means that refers to a system in which all the works inside the home is either done by the woman or of the family, or organized by them through the help of the domestic helpers. That means it is fixed that all the works inside the home, that is done by the woman only, either by own self or by take a help of the domestic helpers. So basically it is said that sexual division of labor means where the male and female are distinguished according to the nature, according to the society expectations, and they decided what should be the woman do and the work of the woman and the work of the female male. So this is known as sexual division of labor, where the work are divided according to their gender. That means if it is a work like washing utensil, washing clothes, or if it is like nourishing the children, then it is totally according to the sexual division of labor, it is the work of the female. Now if the work will be like earning the monies, or going to the schools for getting a higher educations, or any kind it's riding the vehicles and different kinds of things. So this is only the work of the boys. As because our society is why this kind of things are happening. Now there is two words I think you all know. One is matriarchal society and is a patriarchal society. Now what is this two word? Matriarchal society is nothing but the society which is dominated by the female, and patriarchal society which we have right now in our society, that is a male domination. Here the male community, they get more importance rather than female community. So this is known as patriarchal society. As we have a patriarchal society, that's why our division of work are totally responsible on this society, and the female and male are divided according to their features or according to their characters. Their works are definite, their works are fixed according to their gender. Okay, now if you see this, there is a one picture. So with this picture, first the thing is that what came to your mind. from this picture, you all in your schools or in somewhere in your posters, I hope you all draw this kind of pictures, or you can see this kind of pictures in many places. Now what that picture represents, this picture I think is representing the women's empowerment, because you see, if you see here you see that the women have carrying a bag, that is office bag, that means the women can do the outside work also. Here the thing is that the food is there, that means the women can do their inside work by cooking for their families. Here the feeding bottles are there, that means they can nurture their children. It is the cup of tea, that means it can take the responsibility of their family. Some books are there, that means the women can go to the schools, or they can also take a responsibility to teach their students or their children. So this we can say that the women's empowerment are showing, where the women are somehow taking the responsibility, not even in the inside but even the outside. So we can say it's a changing scenario. Now gradually these things have happened that in our society the gender issues was raised in politics, because you all know that politicians are very much eager to take that kind of issues which give them a strong voting or the strong support from the society. So for that reason, this gender discrimination or this kind of gender issues, where the women are categorized as the inside of the home and the male are categorized as the outside of the home. So this kind of gender issues was raised in the politics, where women from the different part of the world, they try to aggregate it for equal rights, for improvement of political, legal status, economy, education and career opportunities. Right now in the society, many part of the country, the women have come in front of the society and they try to do the protest for getting their own education rights, for getting their career opportunities, for getting their improve the legal status, for improving their political status. So for this reason, the women have tried to come out in front of the society and they doing the protest for getting this kind of things, and this movement is known as the feminist movement. Now what is feminism? Feminism does not mean that only you can be doing the protest for only the female. Feminist means those, whether they is male or female, those who are fight for their own right, fight for their civil rights, that is called feminism. So basically the feminist movement which aimed at equally in the personal and the family life as well. So that means in the feminism, it does not indicate that only the female will get all the power and male don't have, but feminism means the person, whoever, whether it is male or whether it is female, they have a right in outside of the world also, as well as in the family life also. Means every person have deserved their own time for their personal life and for their family life, and that is known as feminist movement. So from this, I hope you understand that we know that this is the changing scenario of the woman in public as well as the private life, because in the previous timing, due to the sexual division of labor, the women are stuck into their inside of the home, and they are not allowed to go to the outside. But right now it's our society is changing their scenario from the and give the right to the women for their public as well as the private life. Let I give you one example, is that your mother or in our family women, they are doing whole day work, like they are cooking for us, they are washing our clothes, they are washing the utensil, they are maintaining our home, they are sometimes they are stitches some clothes for us also. But at the same time, this all work like cooking or you can say stitching our tailoring, or you can say maintaining our home, if these things are the male person, they are taking as a professional one. You see in many of the schools are there, those who are teaching, that is the management school, those who are teaching about the hotel management, where the peoples are giving money, and also in the restaurant when the chefs they are cook for food for the customers, we are giving money. If we are purchasing our clothes, or if we are purchasing from the clothes from the tailor, we are giving them money for serving us that clothes. If some domestic helpers, they are doing, the maids, they are doing some work in our home, then we also give the money. But if you are if you are analyzing that our mothers or our grandparents, women, those who are work in the home, they are not getting at all a money for these all types of work which in the outside the people get the money. So that is the difference where we can say that this is the gender discrimination we have seen here. Now we have to know little bit the ways of the women discriminations. Means there's one question, I know you all know in previous classes also there's this questions came, that why women are still lag behind the men. This is a very important question in nowadays also, because in some areas the women are still behind, they are still lagging, and they are not up to the mark what the so in the society what the male are. So for that reason there's a one question left, that is why women still lag behind the men. So here we have to know little bit the ways or the areas in which we can see that yes, women are still lagging behind the men in some things. So let's see what are the points. The first point is that low literacy percentage of women. If you know, if you go through with the data which is also in your NCERT book is given, that you get that the girls get only the 54% girls are get literacy or education, and 76% are boys those who are literate. So you can imagine that 56% or 54% of the girls only are literate, and where 76% boys are literate. So these are the gap between the girls and the boys. Why this kind of things happen? There's so many reasons we see in the society, like the girls are not get a chance to achieve their goal to get the education, because maybe some security problems are there, the parents are not, see in our many areas in our country there's a remote and there is a no school and colleges. So if any person want to achieve the school educations or any kind of educations, they have to go through by bus, train, and very far they have to take this, and that and now the society are not secured. So for that reason many parents are not ready to send their girls by traveling this so much distance and by covering this distance and get the education. That's why they are drop out. Some are there where the child marriage are given are occurred. For that reason also the girls are dropped their education. Even some parents are not, they are saying that the one day the woman get married and they have to go to their in-laws, so they, why they are wasting their money or why they are investing their money by educating the girls, because one day they will go to their others in-laws home. But if they are investing their money into the boys education, then the boys will take care of the parents in their old age. So for due to this several reason, the parents are not allowed the girls to go to and grab the education, and due to this reason low literacy rates percentage are seeing in our country, and that's why we say that women are lag behind the men in the education field. Next one is that economic discrimination. These are a very important part, you can say the important area where women are really very lagging behind the men. Why? Because there is one rules are over there that equal amount, equal work, equal wage. But have you if you observe the survey, if you observe the calculation, if you observe the data, you can analyze that the women are get less paid, they are getting less money rather than they are working more hard than the boys. If I am giving an example that in every field the women somehow they are doing more work, 1 hour more than the boys, what the boys do, but still whenever they want get the money, they are not getting equal amount of money what the boys get. So for that reason less wages they get for the women, and due to this equal, due to this the unequal part of the distribution of the income, it's also a reason where the women are not economically, they are strong what the women, and they are still lag behind. No equal opportunities of opportunity. See, you all know that, maybe it is keep in mind that in the previous videos, we all in the previous classes, when we ever know the fundamental right there, I taught you about that equal opportunity for employment. But yes, of course, it is not happen in practical way, because in the theoretical it was, we have that in the constitution, a fundamental right that everyone have equal chance to get an opportunity. But this is not happen in the equal. If it is happen, then still now the women are not still lagging behind. But yes, if you see in any area, whether it's a entertainment, whether it's in a cricket, whether is any area, you can observe that in 1976 Act, according to 1976 Act, there is a equal wages, remunerations are there, where everyone, those who work in a same field, they get a same money. But it is not happening in many areas. The girls are neglected, the girls are refused to, saying that this is not a area where the girls have the permission to do the work. If I am saying the armies, the militaries, there are very less amount of girls get a job. In so many areas are there where the women are very much less to get work what the men get. For that reason, no equal opportunities are given to the women, and that's why the women are not get that kind of security, that kind of position what the men have. Preference by the boy child. This is a very important topic or issues we have nowadays also, that the women are killed before the taking a birth or after the after taking birth. So female feticide and female foticide is very much important, and it's a controversial issues nowadays also, because the boys are more preferred by the parents. The parents are preferring the boy child rather than the girl child. For that reason, in some states of our country, the girls are killed before taking birth in their mother womb, and also sometimes after taking birth also, or sometimes it's also having due to in the name of the dowry they also kill. So if you go through with that statistical data, you analyze that nowadays in our country at overall 919 girls are there where 1000 boys are present, and even in some states 850 girls are there as per the 1000 boys, or 800 girls are there as per the 1000 boys. So if you calculate, then if in any place there is 1000 boys, you get that 850, 800 or 919 girls in a number. In your NCERT book, if you go through with your map, you can understand that in which part of the areas how much girls percentage are there. And luckily in West Bengal we have included in 919 ratio. Early child marriage. This is also happening in so many areas like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, UP. So these are the areas where still now the early child marriage was before the 18 years, means the girl child, those who are 14, 15, 13, they are getting married to the getting married, and due to this reason somehow some are dead due to this early child marriage. Some are dropped out from their schools, not getting that, and some are not getting any kind of opportunity to go outside. Harassment, exploitations, and the violence against women. So many domestic violence we heard in our society, in the crime patrols serials, or in any of this kind of documentary films. You can observe that so many domestic violence are going on upon the women, where the women are not getting that right to defend themselves, and even some women are unable to get the protection also. Harassment and exploitation. The women are those who don't have protection. Even nowadays so many women are purchasing and selling into the world. Even they are harassed in their working place, they are harassed in the public places, in their schools, colleges, everywhere. So these are some of the areas where we see that yes, women are still lagging behind the men, and they are not somehow get right what she deserve. Now we have to come to the end of our module, that is the last slide, which is seeing the women political representatives. the portion of the women in the legislative have been very low in India, as the women are not getting a right to secure their family rights, not secure their educational right. So you can imagine that the women are not getting the right to come outside and doing their career, establish in the world. So they are also not able to come into the politics, because normally the politics are not taking in a very good sense in our society, and here the women's in the politics percentage, that is very much low. So the proportion of the women in the law field, in the government field, is very, very low. And even if you see the statistical data, you get that according to 2019 sensation, in Lok Sabha approximately only 14.36% percentage of strength are there who is women. So you imagine that in the whole Lok Sabha, where we have 552 members are there, in 552 only 14.36% percentage are there only in the Lok Sabha, and in the state assembly, that is in the Vidhan Sabha, Vidhan Pradesh, less than 5% women you get in who are be as a MLAs or any position. So from this scenario you will understand, if you look this map, if you look of just look this scenario, graph here, you will understand that where is the India situated. See, the graph is like that. So India is only here world advantage. So here you say that Nordic, it is Nordic, America, Europe. So these are the place where it is above the average line, means this is the average line, that is 24 world average, and it is above the average line. But India is somehow some below the average line, where it is showing that the women's national parliaments in different, means in the parliament the women are not getting a chance to come as a political representative. So India is somehow is the last one. Those in the statistical area you have observed that how the India's women are not getting a chance to come in the assemblies. The one way to solve this problem is to make it legally binding, to have a fair proportion of women in the electoral body. So if we wanted that women should come in front of the society and be a political representative, then only one way is to solve is that to create, it is compulsory that it is compulsory as a to come in the political field. What just like a panchayat local bodies do, that is in the, you all know that in panchayat and municipality areas the reservation seats of the women are there, where 1/3, that is 33% women seats are reserved for the women in the panchayat or in the municipalities area. So if this kind of compulsoriness, this kind of reservations is also created in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha or in Vidhan Sabha, Vidhan Parishad, then we can say that we can solve the low percentage of the women in the political representatives. So it's our, so the government's responsibility is that to do this some kind of thing, so that the women come forward and they are not lagging behind the men, and they come and take their position as a political representatives. If you one information which I want to share with you, that as the panchayat and municipalities in the local bodies, 33% reservations are we get as a woman. But right now so many bills are pending, where it is said that if that bills are passed out from the parliament, then in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha also the women get a reservation, that is 1/3. But still, due to the patriarchal reason, due to the male dominations, the ministers are not allowed, they are not passing out the bill which is pending for the women's reservation. So this is the scenario what we have seen in our country, but hope in our coming days, in our future, maybe this kind of bills will be passed and we women also get our right, and also the number should be increased in the political representations. So with this we have completed our first topic, that is gender portion. In the next video I'm gonna discuss about the next topic, that is the religion communalism, that is the second part. So I hope you will understand that what was the scenario of the gender discrimination in our society as due to the patriarchal society, and go through with your NCERT book along with this video, so that it will be clear it out more. And please go through with the maps which is given in your NCERT book, and the graph also which is given in the NCERT books. From there you can understand that what was the actual scenario of the position of the woman. One thing I want to say, one more thing is that maybe in some of your books that the data which is I am giving, it's not matched because your books are old. So if you wanted the correct data, then go to the ncert.nic.in. from there ebooks, you please downloaded this chapter at this 2020-21 NCERT book. From there you get the correct data, that is the recent data. Otherwise you can also write down in your old book with this data and go through with that. So please be remember that the in under gender you have to know about the sexual division of labor, the definition about the gender divisions, about the patriarchal society, about the feminist movement, the ways on which the women get discriminated, or the ways where we see still women are lagging behind the men, and the women political representative data. So these are the topic which covered the top module, that is the gender. Till that thoroughly read your NCERT book. Okay, thank you.